Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Lupi, Nadabraka, Accra. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domina. Coming up, President John Mahama expected in Boko today as government engages in peace-building efforts to resolve protracted conflict. Meanwhile, ahead of the visit, the president has called for heightened security along Ghana's borders over growing insecurity concerns.
Threats to our peace that we must continue to look at internally and externally. Internally to do with chieftaincy disputes, externally to do with the threats on our northern borders. And so we cannot let our vigilance down.
Also coming up, students of St. Vincent College of Education in Yendi appeal for reopening after Overlord of Dagbon ordered closure of school.
Without the management, we, the student body, cannot do anything because all the offices in the campus are closed down. And we can go and be at campus without staff.
Still in the bulletin, police on manhunt for 2 suspected robbers over the alleged attacks on Manso Watreso community mining workers, making away with gold and other valuable items.
They met some armed robbers and they took them inside the forest and collected their money. Their gold was 30 pounds and 11,000 Ghana cedis and their car key.
And later in the bulletin, as water shortage in Ho enters its third week, we'll hear from some residents on how this is impacting their daily lives.
It's expensive. I carry a little bowl. First it was 80 pesos, now it's 90 pesos.
For some time now we have been struggling to get access to potable water, really having tools on our daily activities.
Stay with us for details of these and more stories coming your way in 30 minutes. The bulletin is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com. Across the country, we are live on a number of affiliate stations. In the Western region, tune into Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrade. In the Bono region, J Life 95.5 FM in Sunyai. Ashanti region, this is Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, tune into Global 105.1 FM in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the Northern region, Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In Upper West, this is Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, this is Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, Scarp 101.3 FM. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful you could join us this afternoon. Let's begin with some security matters. And President John Dramani Mahama has held a high-level meeting with the heads of various security agencies ahead of his visit to Boko. The meeting, which took place at the Jubilee House in Accra, comes amid ongoing tensions in the area stemming from the protracted ethnic conflicts between some groups. Now, during the meeting, President Mahama urged the security services to intensify their efforts to maintain stability, particularly along the country's borders amidst rising concerns about insecurity and chieftaincy disputes.
This last election has cemented our reputation as a leading democracy in Africa, and a good part of the thanks go to you, the security services, who have maintained the peace. We still have threats to our peace that we must continue to look at internally and externally. Internally to do with chieftaincy disputes and some incidents of armed robbery and things like that. Externally to do with the threats on our northern borders. And so we cannot let our vigilance down. There should be no vacuum. And so you must all continue to work, as the CDS said, zealously to make sure that there's no breach of the peace in the country. And so I want to thank you for all the work you're doing. We're working hard to set up the Council of State so that we can start to put the controlling boards of all the services and all the government parastatals in place. And so once we have the Armed Forces Council and the Prisons Council and all of them set up, all your service councils, we're sure that we'll begin to look at.
So you heard President John Dramani Mahama. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff General Thomas Opompepra has assured that the security services remain committed to maintaining peace and security across the country.
Mr. President, we are here to join our voices with the good people of Ghana and the international community to congratulate you on assumption of office as the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Mr. President, we want to assure you of our loyalty, professionalism, and dedication. We've been working together as a team, meeting all the complex challenges of the security environment. By working together as a team, we've been able to keep this country quiet and stable. Mr. President, I want to assure you that we are going to continue with even greater zeal to ensure that we maintain the security and stability of this country. I want to assure you of our unflinching support and dedication, as I said, to duty, and make sure that we help you to achieve or realize your objective of resetting Ghana.
You heard that the Chief of Defense Staff General Thomas Opompepra. Meanwhile, security is beefed up in Boko as President Mahama is expected to arrive in the area. Well, now we understand the President is in Boko. So let's go live and speak with our Upper East Regional Correspondent Ibrahim Abode for more. Ibrahim, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We understand the President has arrived in Boko. What can you tell us? Hello, Ibrahim. If you can hear me, talk to us about what is happening currently in Boko. We understand the President has arrived as part of efforts to resolve the ongoing protracted conflict in the area. Okay, we do not appear to have Ibrahim. We'll go back up to the line and re-engage him. But let's stay on the President, John Dramani Mahama, because he has proposed a new approach to the LGBTQ+ bill, suggesting it be introduced as a government-sponsored initiative instead of a private member's bill. Now, during a meeting with the Catholic Bishops' Conference, John Dramani Mahama hinted at renewed discussions if the bill is to be reintroduced after the failure of the former president not to assent to it. He noted that government sponsorship would lend the bill greater legitimacy and improve its chances of successful passage.
I don't know what the promoters of the bill intend to do, but I do think that we should have a conversation on it again so that all of us, if we decide to move that bill forward, move it forward with a consensus. And probably it shouldn't be a private member's bill. It probably should be a government bill with governments behind it after consultation with all the stakeholders to see how we're able to move this forward. But it leads us back to the discussion we had that if we're teaching our values in school, we won't need to pass a bill to enforce our family values. And that's why I think more than even the family values bill is us agreeing on a curriculum that inculcates these values into our children as they're growing up, so that we don't need to legislate it. And so we'll see how all this goes. So I'm looking forward to this review conference so that we can come to some consensus on some of these issues.
President John Dramani Mahama there. Well, now let's go back to the Upper East region, to Boko specifically, and speak with our correspondent Ibrahim Abode ahead of the visit of President John Dramani Mahama. Ibrahim, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. What can you report now?
Well, good afternoon. As we speak, everyone is gathered at the Boko Naba Palace
drumming, singing, and dancing is ongoing as residents wait to receive the president at the Boko Naba Palace in Boko. So it is all set, though it looks like the time promise has shifted a bit. So because of that, the president was actually scheduled to be here earlier, but unfortunately, it has not been done that way. So people are still waiting to receive the president. There's anticipation that is very high from residents who are hoping that the president is bringing a key message towards the resolution of the havoc, the conflict that is ongoing. So there's that kind of high expectation from the president as far as this visit is concerned. And then issue is that the president, after this particular place, will be visiting the Naire in Naleru, that is in the northeast region. So the communication is that immediately after his meeting with the Bokunaba and then leaders of the Kosa Traditional Council, the president will also go to the northeast region and meet with the Naire and then leaders of the Mamprogo Traditional Council.
So, Ibrahim, the gathering that awaits the president, tell us the composition of the gathering. Is it made up of Kusasis and Mamprusis? Who are making up this gathering?
So, like I indicated earlier, this is a meeting of the Kusasis, the Bokunaba, and then the Kosa Traditional Council. So this is the leadership of the Kosa Traditional Council, made up of the Bokunaba and then the sub-chiefs from this particular area. So the president will also leave to the northeast region to meet with the Naire, who is the king of the chief of the Mamprusis, and then that of the Mamprugu Traditional Council. So that is how it is going to be done.
When you speak with residents, what's the general expectation of this promise by the president to help resolve the conflict that has been protracted in the area?
Most of them are actually indicating that they are optimistic that this president will be able to bring a lasting solution to this particular conflict, and some are also saying that the situation is very delicate and volatile, so it will actually take time for things to normalize. But they are actually, those here are actually hoping that if law and order is being enforced, then the situation will be brought to order as far as the Boko conflict is concerned.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. That's Ibrahim Abode. He's our Upper East Regional Correspondent. Let's move on now to some other stories. And co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu, has commended the Office of the Special Prosecutor for initiating investigations into alleged corruption and procurement irregularities linked to the construction of the National Cathedral. The probe follows a referral from the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, which concluded its inquiry in November 2024. On speaking to City News, Mr. Senanu described the move as a positive step, noting that many Ghanaians are keenly awaiting the investigation's findings.
Don't forget that this is a referral, and so they are responsive to that referral. They are responsible to act once there has been a referral. And indeed, one of the things that we expected the OSP to always do is to take up contemporary issues of importance and to act on it, such that there doesn't seem to be that impunity which is left untouched, is left unresearched or dealt with, and the citizens begin to think that some people are much more worthy than others and are able to get away with murder. So I think that the timing is in response to two things. One, this is an issue that is important to the people of this country. It's topical. We've been discussing it. And not just that. There's a track report that explicitly refers this to them, because there are elements of the report that the OSP is mandated to act on. And so the OSP is bound by its responsibility and its mandate to come back and say, yes, we've taken it up and we are going to investigate.
You have the co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edem Senanu. Meanwhile, anti-corruption crusader Vitus Azim has called for a complete halt to the construction of the National Cathedral project. Now, speaking to City News, a former executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative indicated that Ghana lacks the financial capacity to undertake the project and suggested transferring it to private investors.
I think the project should be halted in any stage, at least for now. We don't have one Christian religion in the country. We have several different religions and they all have their cathedral. Why do we need another national cathedral? And these things should be private. If some church has money to invest in a private cathedral, that's fine. but not for the state to be doing these things when we are hard up with cash. I think it should be abandoned, or at least it should be put up for private people to come in and work on it. If it's going to be a tourist center, that kind of thing. That's what Nanado said at first when he came. He said it was not going to be a burden on the state. What have we seen? Because politicians, when they start something, they want it to advance so that it will go to their credit. And you see, remember that President Mahama was speaking to churches, religious leaders. And even though we have finished the campaigning, they still want to do these things to get everybody on board, the government. But I think that it is not necessary. We should stop it.
That's anti-corruption crusader Vital Satzim. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. Still ahead, students of St. Vincent College of Education in Yendi appeal for reopening of school after Overlord of Dagbon ordered the closure of the school. We'll bring you details of this and other stories shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
It's time to reset yourself and everything around you for success in the new year. Tune in to the Effective Living Series 2025 this January on Channel 1 TV and Citi FM. Start your year with insightful discussions and expert tips on personal growth, health, success, and more. It's time to reset yourself and everything around you for success in the new year. Tune in to the Effective Living Series 2025 this January on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. Start your year with insightful discussions and expert tips on personal growth, health, success, and more. From the 6th of January, join Apioko and Caleb Kuda as they engage our guests with various expertise on the Effective Living series for a comprehensive guide to resetting your life in 2025. Week 1 kicks off with Personal Reset. Week 2 focuses on resetting your personal economy. Week 3 is all about resetting your health. Week 4, resetting business. Calibrate, remodel, and rebuild. Catch the Effective Living series live on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM at 9 a.m. and on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV at 9:20 a.m. Monday through Thursday. Don't miss out on transforming your life for the better every week only on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM. The Effective Living Series 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Hallmark Cafe. Hallmark Cafe. Delight in every sip and bite. Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Thank you for staying with us. Now, students of St. Vincent College of Education in Yendi are calling for a peaceful resolution to issues that led to the college's closure. The institution was shut down on Monday, January 13, following a directive from the Overlord of Dagbon, Yana Mahama Bukari II. Now, students have appealed to stakeholders to address the matter amicably. Speaking to Citi News, Public Relations Officer of the Students' Representative Council, Christopher Maja, says the students are currently enduring difficulties due to the closure.
Without the management, we, the student body, cannot do anything because all the offices in the campus are closed down. And we can go and be at campus without staff, without non-teaching staff. So we are appealing that whatever be the case, they should resolve it within a possible time so that everything, our staff can return to their offices and put things in order before we resume on 27th.
Okay.
It means we being at our teaching practice. If offices are closed down, there is nothing the teachers will plan about because they have to sit down and plan on when they will go. So if they don't have office, it means there is no work for them. And it's actually affecting us, and it means our staying in out campus there will just be a waste of time.
Okay.
So we are just appealing to them to resolve this issue on time so that the administration can go back to work and then put things in place.
You heard Christopher Maja, he's Public Relations Officer of the Students' Representative Council of St. Vincent College of Education in Yendi. Meanwhile, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, is expected to hold a meeting to address the closure of the college. This closure follows tensions over the selection of a new principal after the retirement of the previous one. Deputy Director General of GTEC, Professor Francis K. Nunu, appealed for calm among stakeholders as the issue is being resolved.
We want to call on all factions to remain calm while we at the Commission will invite the stakeholders to Accra and we will sit down and seek an amicable solution to the situation.
Okay, so until this solution is found, the school will remain closed?
Yes, it has to, because we don't know what will happen when the school opens. Lives could be threatened and university college property could be destroyed. And we want to prevent that. So GTEC will not be too long in gathering the stakeholders together at the table for us to discuss and come to an amicable solution. There are laid down rules and regulations for the appointment of principals, and we will ensure that the right procedures are followed and all stakeholders are respected.
He had the Deputy Director General of GTEC, Professor Francis Nunu. Let's stay on education as Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana has appealed to the government and stakeholders to address ongoing strike by teacher unions to prevent further disruptions to academic activities. Now, this appeal comes in the wake of a strike by the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CITAC, which began on January 2, 2025. In an interview with Citi News, the association's president, Swali Razak, stressed the adverse effects of the strike on their students and urged swift action to resolve normalcy.
The CITA strike and then now the census strike is definitely negatively impacting us as students, because you will recall the long strike which lasted for 2 months and 6 days somewhere last year, 2024, how we were deeply devastated by the effects, and then teaching and learning have unfortunately have to come to a halt. Even as we have it now, we have think of postponing the resuming date of the students. That's from level 100 to level 300 to 27th of January. We still have students who are we level 400 students who are doing our micro teaching, our teaching practice out there without any supervision because CITAC is on strike. For census, we just hope that before 27th they will also call off their strike so that they would be able to do those other duties such as cleaning and feeding, so that teaching and learning would not be affected by their strike.
He had the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Swali Razak. Let's move away now to some other stories. The police are investigating a robbery in Manso Watreso in the Ashanti region, where suspected armed men attacked miners returning home, stealing gold, cash, and vehicle keys. Residents apprehended 2 suspects who were killed by a mob, while the remaining 2 fled with over 30 pounds of gold and 11,000 Ghana cedis. Now, authorities have retrieved the deceased suspects' bodies and are searching for the fugitives. Assembly member for the area, Kofi Mensah, confirmed the incident, calling for calm as investigations continue.
Yesterday, they wanted to return home. So when they are coming, they met some armed robbers and they took them inside the forest and collected their money, their gold worth 30 pounds and 11,000 Ghana cedis and their car key. So when the information came, the community members mobilized to go and help the miners. So they cut 2 armed robbers and 2 fled away. So when they get them, they beat them till they died. So I called the police at Mansour Dubia and they came and took the body and the miners to Mansour Dubia police station. The 2 who died.
No, who went away with the money?
I'm talking about who died yesterday. We got some information that they are from some community around here. So now we are going to the police station and see what will come out from it.
That's the Assembly member for the Manso Watreso electoral area, Kofi Mensah. Now let's move on to Ho now, and residents in the area and surrounding communities are enduring a severe water shortage as disruptions persist into the third week. The Ghana Water Company Limited has blamed a prolonged crisis on repeated breakdowns during emergency repairs at the Peve headworks. Now GWL assured residents that steps are being taken to resolve the issue and restore supply as soon as possible. Here's Wisdom Semevo. He's the Water Regional Commercial Manager of the Ghana Water Limited.
The only thing that we are dealing with machine, and we have the capable men that are working on it. It's a hope and I believe that when this pump is restored and water supply is restored, as management will be said to be taken to get maybe replacement for the shaft. For now, it's being worked on. So technically we have to get a new one restored as a long-term gap. So that's what we are working for. When we face it now, the issue is no way of care for us to have this challenge of food.
He has the Water Regional Commercial Manager for the Ghana Water Limited, Wisdom Semevo. Well, the situation is disrupting daily lives, and affected residents have been telling us how this is impacting their lives financially.
For the past 3 weeks now, we've not had water flowing through our taps, and then we had to spend more money to buy water. And a jerrycan, the Kufogan, which we usually call it, now costs us 50 pesos to buy. And imagine the number of gallons we need to buy for a family of 5 all the time or every day. They need to bath before going to school, to work.
For some time now, we have been struggling to get access to potable water due to the damaged pumps at the Peve headworks, which is really having tolls on our daily activities. We have to wake up, go around, look for water, but before going to work, which is really affecting our productivity at work. We are calling on the Ghana Water Company at a matter of agency to work on the pumps for us so that we can get access to potable water.
You need to have a reservoir or a container that you can, save some water for yourself for cooking and domestic stuff actually. So it's a little bit expensive. I carry a little bowl where I used to fetch the water, and the woman says first it was 80 pesos, now it's 90 pesos per bowl.
You heard some Ho residents speaking about the acute water shortage. Moving on now, the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana has welcomed President John Dramani Mahama's decision to uncap the National Health Insurance Scheme levy. Now, during the National Prayer and Thanksgiving service over the weekend, the President explained that removing the cap would ensure the National Health Insurance Authority has sufficient funds to reimburse healthcare providers for their services. Speaking to Citi News, the association's General Secretary, Frank Richard Toblu, highlighted that a cap introduced in 2017 has significantly hampered the operations of health workers, particularly in the private sector.
We actually spoke against it right from inception. The reason being that once it has been capped, it reduces the total amount of revenue that will be made available to the National Health Insurance Authority for onward transmission to the healthcare service providers for payment of claims. I must confess that because of the capping of the National Health Insurance revenue by the Parliament has actually suffocated the National Health Insurance Authority with regards to payment of claims to healthcare service providers. Sincerely, as I speak to you now, National Health Insurance claims to have released 270 million Ghana cedis for the payment of claims. But I must tell you with all sincerity that a huge number of our members have not been paid as I speak to you. And we are compiling a list of members who have not been paid the release the National Health Insurance Authority claim to have made. This is where we are. So, in fact, we long expected the capping of the National Health Insurance revenue. And if that is done, I can assure you, it will release a lot of revenue for the National Health Insurance for payment of healthcare service providers in this country.
That's the General Secretary of the Private Health Facilities Association of Ghana, Frank Richard Toblu. Now, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has outlined conditions for supporting the reintroduction of road tolls. During his vetting, Finance Minister-designate Dr. Kasiola Toforsin announced plans to reintroduce toll collection to boost revenue. Speaking to City News, the Industrial Relations Officer for the GPRTU, Abasi Moro, stressed the need for stakeholder consultations and guarantees that toll revenue will address road sector issues.
One, the one in charge should consult the playmakers, those involved for our ideas, our programs. Two, there should be an assurance that road toll, any income which comes from the road toll shall be used to maintain the roads to minimize the threat of accidents, road crashes on our roads.
You heard the Industrial Relations Officer for the GPRTU, Abbas Imoro, and that's it for today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Adjuatin Krama-Domna. Thank you for your company. Good afternoon.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.